Hi there, this is Mike of Nearly Enough Dice, and this is the Kerbal Space Program. Now, I have relaunched my Munar and I've redesigned it slightly. And I am more or less at exactly the same point that I was last time before I discovered my ever so slightly embarrassing design flaw, which is that I had put my Sepatron on the wrong end of this converter from this brand of engine to this brand of, well, fuel tank really. In my original design I put the separator here, which meant that the engine had this great big huge solid lump of stuff in the way of its exhaust, which doesn't tend to work very well. So I've redesigned it. Other things you may have noticed, I've stuck some fins on it. That helped in maneuvering within the atmosphere. What you didn't see is, if you didn't see my last thing, in which case you're probably not that interested, as well as these tanks and this whacking great engine, I had 4 other tanks with 4 whacking great engines as my initial kind of get me through the soup of the atmosphere stage. And I just chucked struts all over the place to make it less unstable, because it was ridiculously unstable for you. Kind of wobble and kind of do that, which is not good for anybody. I'm surprised the thing did not just come apart, to be honest. But we're now in orbit, and I have set up the maneuver node. I've set up my maneuver node, and I wasn't quite on track. I have to actually go around the planet and then pick up from here, which is fine because that gives me time to chat, which is cool. So, because there is one more amusing thing, which is if you watched last episode, you would have seen my ever so slightly disastrous attempt to land on the moon, which went horribly wrong because I screwed this up and I did not have my middle transfer stage to get actually from the moon, from Kerbin to the moon. Now I do have a ton of fuel left. I mean, like loads of fuel in this stage, which is just going to go in orbit, and I might try and do something clever to recapture it and steal fuel from it. I didn't actually have the weight to put docking ports on it. Maybe there was something else, some other thing I could have done to get some weight off. Doesn't matter, I'll think of something. Or I'll just blow it up. Either way. But, so, when I actually got there, I didn't have enough fuel to actually land, which meant that I had to abandon my lander halfway to the moon, and it kind of smashed into it. But, somewhat to my surprise, I noticed that I had a notification sitting there. And it turns out that land on the moon is complete. I got that, or that part of the contract. I was like, you what? And it turns out that there is, in fact, I'm not going to click on it, there is a bit of landed moon rocket debris that clearly went smash and then didn't actually completely explode. So I have in fact landed on the moon, technically. But I don't think we're actually going to count that. So I just thought that was funny. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom forwards. Well, what we're going to do first before we do that is we're going to hit M, because this whacking great lump of fuselage here still is still like a third, or no, so that's just like a quarter full of fuel. That kind of gubbins there. We're going to say goodbye to it. Goodbye. And then I'm going to throttle off completely. And that activates that engine. So that is now the engine that is going to go. I do this so it's going to be slightly easier to maneuver and point myself at maneuver days. It's still not very good. I still have the problem that this is a great big huge unwieldy thing that is controlled by reaction wheels here. I can use my monopropellant, but I've already used a ton of it. Trying to shift that whacking great thing. But this transfer stage doesn't have very many maneuvers to do. So, I mean, although it's a pain to do them, the craft doesn't actually have to be all that agile. Now, let's not get distracted. This is actually, I've had to do this a second time. This is take 2. And that was all because I was too busy talking and wasn't paying attention to what was happening. And I hit the speed up time warp, not the slow down time warp. And shot off, well, completely lost my ability to hit the moon. I maybe could have recovered it. Well, I could have recovered the craft as a whole because I missed my Munar encounter. But that just meant I was still in Kerbin orbit, so I just would have got back to Kerbin, and it would have been aggravating. But you know, but because it was a user interface problem, and because it was done because I'm warping the laws of physics. And I feel that acceptable at that point to kind of reload an old save and start from there. So we've drifted off our maneuver node a little bit, so now we should be back on. Part of the whole point of this is to get as much experience points stuffed into, in this case, Jebediah Kerbin. Kerbin? Kerman. There you go. I should know this. How long have I been playing this game? But I want to stuff as much experience in Jeb as possible, so that I can do funky things like aim towards maneuver nodes automatically. Right, I'm just going to hit the burn now. Well, that's about right. Brilliant. Because this is a new stage, and thus a new rocket, and thus it weighs less, and it's got different thrusts, and this and that and that. The game actually had no idea until I hit go exactly how much thrust this thing had, and thus exactly how long it's going to take to do the burn and tum-tum. Well, I guesstimated about right. I'm quite pleased with that. Right, so nice big long burn, but I got nice amount of fuel in the transfer stage, so it's all good. So I should in fact have, well, I say fuel left over. I'm going to need fuel to get myself into orbit. Because this is an encounter, and in theory, I leave the moon's orbit. Adjust ourselves. Trying to work out if I'm actually getting my moon orbit. I don't think I am. Ah! I've done everything wrong. Right. I'm not exactly where I wanted to be, but I'm getting that thing. That's the important bit. I'm getting a Munar encounter. Sweetie sweet. Now what I normally do, I have to admit, is I change the focus there. and then put a maneuver node. Oh yeah, put the maneuver node in immediately. But I don't think I'm going to do that this time. Going to keep the focus where it is. I should be able. I mean, this should. Be, I don't know how to go back to a ship and then without going to the tracking station and all the way back. But say, this is my current mission. I want to put my focus back on my ship, and I'm sure there's some way of doing it, and I can't remember what it is. If I wanted to make some kind of phase inclination change, I'd do that around about here. I don't care about my inclination, so I'm not going to bother. What else we got? What else is going on? Stuff in. What is that red orbit? Oh, that's one of my. That's one of the satellite things I've not done yet. I need to sit down and do the maths and work out proper orbital. What inclination I want for that orbit, and I can just pull out one of my satellite launchers to do that, get some cash. But nothing I need to do right now. So I've got hours to go. So we are just going to go ahead and speed things up. Nope. What am I doing? I was thinking, oh no, I must move towards my maneuver node, but I haven't actually set a maneuver node. It's not actually doing anything, so I don't need to go anywhere just yet. Although, quite frankly, if I can grab that, chuck that on top of the moon periapsis, and then go retrograde. That isn't actually going to tell me anything that I need to know. So I'm going to delete that maneuver node now. It's not helping me anymore. Like, I need to eyeball this. It's literally when I cross that blue thing there, that's when I need to start thinking about where I'm going and putting maneuver nodes in. That's when I cross over into the moon's sphere of influence, right? So now my blue line is me relative to the moon. So I was coming up on the inside, and the moon has now caught me and is going to slow me down and move around. So now all my blue things are relative to the moon, which is what I want. Oop, that's wrong. I want that one. Now, the game is also helpfully telling me what my orbit is going to be around Kerbin and stuff, but I don't really care about that. So I'm just going to circularize my orbit for now. Circularize-ish. Maybe I want to do one long burn and get right close in, but just going to do this in easy stages. Easy concept. I mean, there's efficient, and then there's you know, conceptually easy. You know, I understand what I need to do at this moment, kind of thing. And that's actually important. That's an important thing to be able to do. Actual NASA has actually lots of people to help with all this instead of just one person with doing it on their own. Another reason I should get, I should get the Kerbal Alarm Clock mod. Amongst, I mean, it's like, of all the mods, I think that's the one I need most. I think that's the one where I just, for every single maneuver node, I'd say whack the time warp down to nothing, because I will have gotten distracted and forgotten and just boom. There you go. Don't wake up saying, "Do you burn, you idiot?" Maybe a bit further out, a certain amount out, it says You set one that says, "Move to your maneuver node, you idiot," and then another one that says, "Right, it's time to do it. Come on, wake up. Stop daydreaming. Stop thinking about the other mission you're going to, some other mission you'll do some other time, as opposed to the mission you're doing right now." Because that is very much what I'd like to be thinking about. Right. We're 32 minutes out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do, because I'm not quite happy. I'm not really happy with where I am. Yeah, that's right. Probably I should just say I should put go to retrograde, and that'll be fine, because I can see the retrograde is getting closer and closer and closer to the maneuver node itself. So that's all fine and lovely. So I probably should have just done that. Right, 9-second burn, so 4 seconds out. I am going to fiddle with. Yeah, it feels better. I suspect pointing myself retrograde would have meant less electric charge. I use the reaction wheels less and because I think you just stick there in space. Right, so we're going out in 4 seconds. Things I need to learn. Now I'm going to stare fixedly at the clock. Nice. Oh, lovely. Look at that. That was lovely. Oh, look at all my fuel. I got so much fuel. Right, that's me apwaps. I want to do. I'm very, very pleased with myself. Not so pleased that I'm. Well, actually, I'm so pleased. I'm going to quick save. That is today's date. Munar orbit 01. Didn't actually get to make a Munar orbit one before, because round about that point was when I went, and now I will slow down to get to proper time. Oh god! Because I'd actually hit increased time warp. And I was like, so annoying. Yeah. Right, so I set up a new node and done nothing with it. So what should we do? I am deliberately putting the periapses in the middle of the planet for a moment. I'm really close enough. Making those little tiny adjustments. Again, another neat thing I'd like to be able to do is like have the numbers display there all the time, and I don't know if there's a way of doing that, and there might be. So there, because that works. I don't like move that and then I can see it, then move that and then I can see it. It would be nice if I could. Just chuck the thing, just move the maneuver node and see the numbers on the periapsis go up and go down and change. That's another 5-second burn, which I should have enough fuel for. Then I need to decide whether or not I'm going to circularize the orbit, or whether I'm just going to go for landing at that stage. Decisions, eh? But not one we need to worry about just yet. I'm going to do a quick save, just a standard quick save. Just in case I screw things up again. Because sadly that's a thing I do a lot. Four, three, two. Wait. And I'll probably do an awful lot of adjusting. How's that come down to? Why is that still changing? It's acting like I'm thrusting, and it shouldn't be. I wonder if that's just the numbers being a bit fiddly. Well, I've certainly got enough fuel left to completely circularize the orbit, which I like the idea of, because then I've got more choices when it comes to landing. I can kind of wander around a lot and just decide where I want to land. So I think I'm going to do that. Ooh, that's not good. I'll be crashing into the moon. I think people would be upset with me if I did that. Yeah, that's close enough. See, I've got quite a lot of I can't remember what it's called. Angle of what's a doodle. Ascending node. Yeah, I've got a fairly severe angle, but I don't care. Right, so I'm going from about 6k to about 12k. No, well, you know, it'll do. And then I'm going to want to chuck my transfer stage, because that'll be its job done. Um, and then it's all just landing from that point. So what I suspect I'm going to do, because this has been 25 minutes already, is finish that up and then land as a separate episode. Assuming I don't completely screw up, which is, you know, as always, quite lucky. So yeah, what I would quite like to do is move my focus back. So I can add maneuvers, but I can't. I want to put the focus back to my ship. But I don't, you know, I'm not actually that worried about it. You wanted to, I mean, I find you change your focus a lot as you maneuver things. You want to, you know, when you want to stare at the periapsis for a bit, you want to, you know, be focused on the body that you're orbiting, and then you want to go back to the ship itself. Hold the nerve, hold the nerve, hold the nerve, lose my nerve. Adjust the. See, all of this, you know, in a sense, this is literally all to get Jeb one more bit of experience. We'll maneuver ourselves again and make little fiddly adjustments. Because he's actually got the experience for doing an orbit, doing suborbital, flyby, the whole bit. He's only going to get one more for actually landing. There we go. That's orbit done. So now all that it remains to do is to ditch my transfer stage and then just land. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and you've enjoyed watching these videos. So if so, hit like and subscribe, share it with people, that kind of thing. You could also find us at www.nearenoughdiced.com, which is our role-playing game themed podcast and blog. In the meantime, I have been Mike of Nearly Enough Dice. Thank you very much for watching, and until we meet again, remember to always, whatever you do, reach for the stars.